of the component of the money that we received is to make it possible for me and my family to travel to China as part of a sabbatical at the end of this year. But it's not just about me, it's also about the congregation. And one of the opportunities we have is together to learn more about Christian mission, Christianity in a global perspective. Study together and develop a common sense of vocabulary so that together we can talk about the global church and our participation in it. And I'd like to introduce to you Steve Hagmark, who joined the faculty at Luther Seminary in 2007 as an associate professor of Islamic Studies and Christian Mission and World Religions. He is a minister in the ELCA, ordained the same year that I was, and has his degrees, his graduate degrees, both his MDiv and his PhD from Luther Seminary here in St. Paul. He is here to help us learn and to develop a set of concepts and words so that we might be able to talk about the church throughout the world. So Steve, welcome, and we are delighted that you can be here.
Well, good evening. About mission. I think this is a very, very strong topic because so much of what we have known to be mission in the past and have read about, that long checkered history of mission, is undergoing some very, very significant changes. How what is happening in the world with the global church is impacting us and how we think about things. Because number one point is this: we are no longer the center of Christianity. The starting point of all mission theory is this: God has done something, and God is doing something. Mission now is a matter of listening. Who is this Jesus? What is God doing here? What is God doing? What is God's intent? Who is my neighbor? Is the church's identity basically missional? Is that what we're here for? Is that what we're about? Christianity or Christendom? Is there a difference between them? Where is the church? And what is a mission paradigm? These are the questions I want to deal with this evening. By 2050, 1/5 of the world Christian population will be non-Hispanic whites. 20%. So, notion that you're the center of the universe. I mean, thinking in the old fashion is not bad. It's just now we see quite limited. There are problems here. It doesn't explain everything, and it's not going to address everything. So we're looking at a paradigm shift. And one of those shifts is what I want to share with you this evening. It is a matter of learning how to live in another culture as an alien. And I think a lot of people in this country right now are starting to react in a very, very fearful manner. Are we going to be aliens in our own country now? We can learn a lot about being Christian from those who've been aliens from the start in their own country and had to overcome it in some very, very real ways. But we have to listen, and listen in context. It's not telling anymore, it's listening to what it is that people can bring to us and what they say the proper partnership is going to be. The more we can listen. So I'm going to be very, very careful about mission trips. Are mission trips primarily listening, or are we telling people, oh, we're going to help the poor benighted people build a house or something like that? Or are we listening? Paying attention. Learning. I'll tell you a story. This is to help you develop a little bit of your craft detector. Right? In Indonesia, on the island of Sulawesi, the Christians in a, well, medium-sized town there, a medium-sized town in Indonesia, had been working on building the first Christian church in town. They had about 80 Christian families. Were up to the final approval for building a church in that town. And what happens? This is literally true. A United States evangelism outfit comes in with helicopters, dropping people off, handing brochure, Christian literature in front of the mosque in town. Oh. They were arrested. The Christians in town had to bail them out. And the church had to wait at least another 10 years. Simply tells us we can't be stupid anymore. We can't afford to be stupid anymore. And the Christian church around the world cannot afford for us to be stupid anymore. Why? Because we have enough money to make asses out of ourselves. And to actually destroy things that they have been working on. It's listening. It's listening. Dialogue that honors the neighbor and is strong in commitment. Okay? Dialogue doesn't mean getting wishy-washy. Dialogue means honor and respect with commitment. We can't afford to be independent anymore. And if we act independently, we're just going to destroy something that somebody else is doing. How does God deal with power? Weakness, death, resurrection, freedom. Freedom from fear keeps us from using power inappropriately. When are we going to stop being afraid of the situation? And so much of the new way we're thinking about mission comes out of the fact that it's only been about 60 years since all that broke down. In fact, most of the present countries of the world, as countries, have always been colonized and have never, ever had the experience of being free and sovereign nations. Never. So to think that things are going to straighten out in 50 or 60 years and everybody's going to be happy and democracy is going to be just a massively successful thing on the face of the earth is really rather naive.